everyone, and welcome to today's video for ZK Studies. So what I'm going to do is take you through the steps of the nitrogen cycle today, and this is one of the specifications required for triple students taking science. So first of all, let's get started with nitrogen gas, which is present in the atmosphere. So that's going to be our first stage. So we have nitrogen gas. In the atmosphere. And if you recall from chemistry, this is approximately 78%. So the majority of our atmosphere is made up of this nitrogen gas. It's really abundant there. So first, what we're going to have is a step called nitrogen fixation. And this step can occur by two main ways. First of all, you can have organisms called nitrogen-fixing bacteria, which live in the root nodules of legumes, which carry out nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation can also occur by lightning. So this is your second method of it happening. And really what nitrogen fixation involves is converting this nitrogen gas in the atmosphere into ammonia. So N2 gas into ammonia. Okay, so that's nitrogen fixation, and this ammonia then dissolves in soil water to form the ion ammonium. And ammonium is an ion, so its chemical formula would be NH4+. Okay, so now this brings us to our second stage of the nitrogen cycle, which is nitrification. So step 2. Nitrification. So this process is carried out by nitrifying bacteria. And what happens here is that ammonium is converted into nitrite and then nitrate. And nitrate has the formula NO3- because it's once again an ion. So what happens now are that these nitrates are absorbed and taken up by roots of plants, and what they do is that they help produce DNA, amino acids, and eventually plant proteins. So they're taken up by plant roots used for DNA, amino acids, and plant protein. Okay, so now when these plants are consumed, the plant proteins are digested and broken down, but then they're assimilated to form animal proteins. So in this diagram above, if this cow would consume the plant, it would firstly break up the nitrates and then assimilate it to form animal protein. So anyways, now the nitrogen is in both the plants and the animals. So this brings us to the third step of the nitrogen cycle, which is known as decomposition. So what happens in decomposition is that organisms called decomposers break down decaying organic matter. So what they would do is break down dead or dying plants and animals, which returns ammonium to the soil. And remember, ammonium is the ion, so it's NH4+. So this is also true when living plants and animals excrete, and that would also return ammonium to the soil. Via the process of excretion. Or digestion. So finally, to really complete this cycle, we have the step denitrification. Which is conducted by denitrifying bacteria. And in the step of denitrification, nitrates are converted back into nitrogen gas in the atmosphere. Nitrates are converted into nitrogen gas. So what this does is it returns nitrogen back to the atmosphere, therefore completing the cycle. Okay, so these are the four main steps of the nitrogen cycle. You firstly have nitrogen fixation, followed by nitrification, decomposition, and denitrification. We also took a look at the organisms involved in each of these processes. So for example, we've got nitrogen fixing bacteria, we have nitrifying bacteria, decomposers, and denitrifying bacteria. And we looked at the various compounds that are formed.